Greetings, soul travelers. Speak of the devil. It's Saturday night. We have a nice choir of cicadas going. I don't know if you notice, got a new ceiling decor. I changed it up. Going with some planetary luminaries, some luminaries to guide me through my journey. Somehow Saturn ended up A1 steak sauce. But yeah, I wanted to say, yo, just finished up training in Kansas City. Oh! I'm learning how to navigate this realm, at least through 3D purposes. Because I did not have a calling toward fucking mosquitoes. Oh, that's a big one. Get out of here, man. I did not have a calling to Kansas City. I actually let my emotions drive me here. Anger, in case you're curious. Aggression, just Mars. Mars brought me here. And then when I showed up at Kansas City 10th Planet, I just had it was a weird first experience. I don't know, usually jiu-jitsu is like grounding and like, it just puts me back in my body and soul. But the first class, I was just like, I don't know, like I wasn't myself. Today was a little better. I think it comes with like learning people and people being cool with me, but jeez. But yeah, the universe was not sending me signs to come here, so I'm still going to roll on my path. I have a more clear direction of the path. Using astrology, I don't know if you know, but most of my travels is based on astrocartography because I have a lot of alignments in this area. I must be out of those alignments now because I feel it. But yeah, I've been pulled to Chicago is the next thing that I've seen signs for. So St. Louis was good, and I had signs there. Maybe I should have hung out there longer, but it's all good. I'm just learning. Yeah, my body's been, I don't know, worn down, I guess. It's frustrating because, like, I don't know, I talk to people and they train like 7 days a week or something, and I'm like, good God, who are you? But I'm learning, like, it's definitely not a marathon. I mean, it is a marathon, not a sprint. But, like, I trained Thursday, and then Friday was like, holy fuck, good thing they didn't have class. The universe was like, yeah, because they had just striking, and I was like, I showed up Thursday and we did striking. I was like, I just was not into it. I'm like, I don't want to do striking. Especially when we weren't wearing gloves or pads or anything. I'm just like, I don't want to do any of this. And I didn't. I just stopped. Luckily, the universe threw in another partner and it was a 3-way. And I was like, I'm out. You guys can go. I'm sticking to the jits. It's a fly. Weird. But yeah, I'm in a off the grid spot in Missouri. Douglas loves it. He needed to stretch his fat floof. So navigating the realm is the universe will give you signs. You have to learn how the universe talks to you. The universe talks to me in like pop culture. Like television, music, and usually like people's attire is kind of how this, or like cars. license plates or bumper stickers. It's just how I get my signs. So you will be different, of course. So I'm gonna roll up to Auburn. I don't even know what fucking state it's in. Nebraska? I don't know. Missouri. Train there a couple days. Head up to Omaha. Train there a couple days, and then book it because there's a sweet Mars alignment, Mars Mercury Jupiter alignment on the 14th, and I want to be in Chicago for that because it's gonna be very martial, Jupiterian, and Mercurial. Probably my top 3 planets. I like Venus, don't get me wrong. I love all the planets, but if I had to pick the energies that I want to fuck with, I want to fuck with that Mars, Mercury, and Jupiter. Although Jupiter on the west coast just fucks me. Maybe because I was born with Jupiter retrograde, so we'll see how this energy comes about. Yeah, I got my water pump. Got some attachments for the new water pump. So that was cool. Hopefully tomorrow I will pop that in. I'm optimistic I can get it in, get it mounted, get it wired, and test it. But we'll see. Just gonna have fun with it. If I need to rest, I'll rest. We'll see. Yeah. I've been sucking at jiu-jitsu, like, I just haven't had that killer instinct. I don't know. And then yeah, when like some of these people are hard to tap, and I'm just not like going gung ho on submissions, and then I'm getting out, they're getting out, and then just passing my guard, and now I'm like, oh fuck. As long as I'm learning, it's fine. But the journey, man, the jiu-jitsu journey is very, very like high and low, but not. It's just if you let it get you low, you can get low. Case in point, quitting for 2 years for me. Was it 2 years? Yeah, it's close to 2 years. So, not gonna do that again. But I got a fuckload of gyms to hit up before May 6th, which is the start of Space Camp. So, I just wanted to update y'all. Hopefully, you can see me right now. Any other updates? It seems like, I don't know, it could be my perception. It just seems like other people are like hitting their stride in life. Just people I see anyway. And then it can get me down, but then I like, Hope's been helping. I have been using it as like avoiding for sure. Like when I did have that spout of anger, I screamed while I was driving, which helped. Like I didn't feel like it got my soul in my man. I got some gnarls Barkley bruises. I got a bunch on this arm. Someone was not good with their fucking skin awareness. But having gratitude for where I am at and just being happy for other people, which it's not hard to do. It's just definitely like a fucking 180 of standard societal judgment measures. Because I'll be like, fuck, I want to be happy, or I mean, I am happy, but I just mean like they just seem like they're living the life. But I can tell that other people think the same about me, which is helping. Like when I do talk to people and they're like, oh man, you're traveling around in a van to 10th planets and just training jiu-jitsu and you don't have responsibilities. And I'm like, damn Skippy. I can tell they sort of envy me in a way. Not that I want that, but like I can see their green eyes, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing the same thing. So then I release, like, because I know there's always, it's just that fucking fake social media shit where everyone's like portraying the best parts of their life, which is, we need like a social media where it's like just the downsides of life. I think that would help. Like there's like 50 dating apps. We need more social media. It's like black Instagram, dark Instagram, where it's just dark shit. Um, yeah, I've just been noticing, like, because I have 3 Instagrams, and I've been noticing like how many follow, or just like what people vibe to me as, and it's just like I don't even try in jiu-jitsu. Like the videos I put out, I feel like these have more value in a sense. Just self-expression. I mean, those are self-expression too, but it's just me rolling. It's like no one's learning anything. You're just seeing just a bearded asshole rolling around to gyms. But those get the most like feedback. Yeah, like I get. Actually, yeah, I just remembered a dude messaged me. I'll have to check that in a second. So I guess it's just, yeah, just being whatever. Not that I'm gonna like stop posting on the other ones. It's just like maybe it is because I don't give a fuck on the jiu-jitsu one that people vibe to it. I don't know. Not that I give a fuck on the other ones, but I definitely try to sound not spiritual. I just try to sound like, well, you guys are living in a fucking matrix. You better realize it. And yeah, people don't want to hear that. Case in point, like, yeah, people that put out bomb ass content have like 100 subscribers. The Mayan Jin. So, um, yeah. I had a weird thought earlier today. It wasn't even a thought, it was more like an awareness. I don't like calling them thoughts because, yeah, you know, thoughts aren't your own, but this was more like an awareness. But it felt like also escapism, like, in a way. But I was feeling, because I love hanging out in my own van. Like I'm at a sweet off the grid spot. I mean, sweet. It's just a fucking like rolling farmland. But I still just chill in the seat because I'm thinking about like going on. I did take Douglas for a walk, but I'm just like, I just like hanging out in the van, and I'm like, maybe I need to sell the van and push myself to grow in other ways. It was just a thought. I'm just like, when yeah, it's like I do the same thing in relationships. I'm like, well, I'm getting comfortable in this, so it's like, do I have a aversion to comfort? Like, I know comfort is death, but at some point you need to, like, if you keep changing things up all the fucking time, then I know that could just be conditioning, but will you make traction going anywhere? Or will you just fucking drift all the time? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I didn't have an emotional response either way on that. Actually, I did. I thought about Leo, and I was like, this is his home, so he needs structure. And then I'm like, well, maybe Leo is your fucking crutch. And then I was just like, I mean, yeah, for sure, but every, everything's perfect. Like, I don't always need to change things, which I have that, like, mentality. I don't know. It could be of a fuck ton of mercury, which is just the pot stirrer. But my chart ruler is the sun, which is in Mercury, so it goes that way. So Mercury could technically be my chart ruler. But yeah, it was Kansas City was cool because I got to roll with a guy who competed in the PGF, which is sweet. He was really dope. He was the coolest guy at the gym. Actually, the last day, the wrestling coach was really cool. Which, I guess it's my stereotype. I just assumed he was just a meat stick wrestling dude. And I didn't sleep last night. Like, I slept like a butthole. It definitely could have been the nap I took, but I had to nap. I don't know. I just need another way to get energy other than sleeping. I mean, not that sleeping is the devil, but it was just like 6 o'clock, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not going to make it to 10 or 11 whenever I should normally retire. So I cranked out like an hour nap. And yeah, I did not sleep well, so I skipped wrestling. Which I wanted to go, but it is what it was. But yeah, they invited me to go get food, and I just instinctively said no. I was like, I gotta hit the road, but I had no emotional either way. It's just, I keep mentioning emotions because I'm a projector in human design with an emotional center or something, open emotional center, or emotional, like that's how I'm supposed to weigh decisions in life. Usually waiting days for big decisions, but you need to get like a positive, like, fuck yeah, to go with shit. Which, I vibe with that, but I really want to get a full human design chart because it talks about like your diet and where you work best. So I'm gonna hopefully suss one of those out. I don't want to pay for one because I just feel like that's the problem with human design is it has this like barrier of monetary thing. It's like I think if I want to see my full chart, I should get it, and then if I want to self-educate, I do. It's like jiu-jitsu videos. Like a lot of people put out free jiu-jitsu videos because they understand that people want to see like what the fuck is up. And then if they want to go further and get a private with you or get a fucking seminar, then they do. But I know that people do sell DVDs, but that's just, they could easily put them out for free and then, because you're not going to learn by just watching a DVD. You gotta like, oh, I also had this weird thing where I was just trying to visualize jiu-jitsu, and I struggled to visualize myself doing jiu-jitsu, but I visualized someone else doing the move on me, and I was able to visualize how the move should be executed. Because there's this move called the Imanari roll, and it's dope, and I can do it. But like whenever I think about doing it, I can't do it. I'm trying to like, I'm like this. But when I visualized someone else doing it to me, I was like, oh yeah, duh. Like that's how it goes. And that's how it feels when you do it. So it's just this thing where I'm like, huh. I'm exploring my learning methods because, not to should on myself, but I should be better at jiu-jitsu than I am. Like, I'm good enough, but I know there's this barrier that I can't cross right now. Like when I look back to when I got back on the mats, I'm like, holy shit, I probably sucked. Because now I've developed a bunch more skills. So I know it's a journey, but at the same time, I'm like, man, I'm just not learning like other people can, because I'm like, I'll ask these people how long they've been training, and I'm like, fuck, a year and a half, and you were like, I couldn't submit you. Not that I'm like death death rolling them, but still, I'm like, I should be able to submit someone who's been doing it a year and a half. Yeah, and then I'm like, is it Killer Instinct? And then I'm like, should I go back to eating meat? Which is like how I go back. I'm like, But then I'm like, I didn't really have a killer instinct when I was eating meat. I don't know. It's just this, like, where can I point the blame? Instead of being like, maybe it's just me. Not that I'm blaming myself, but I just know I can unlock a key or a door, and then it'll just be like, poof. Or it's going to be a struggle the whole time. I don't know. Maybe that's just how it goes. I'm also reminding myself that through, like, generational learning, if I were to have kids, they would be jujitsu badasses because they're going to get passed down the skills. Actually, they're going to be a ton of badass because I have a lot of skills randomly developed, which I'm sure some of these skills, which I know came from like my dad or his dad, mom, whatever. So I'm not claiming that all these skills, yeah, like being like smart or whatever, a mathlete definitely wasn't me. I didn't develop any of that shit. Like even sports. Like, nah, not really. I just kind of can do most sports good enough. Except jiu-jitsu. Fighting obviously wasn't in my... I mean, it must have been in enough to get me into it, but like developing this. Because I just watch this PGF tournament and see these dudes with like killer instincts, and I'm like... And then I see guys with like not killer instincts, and I'm like, alright, it's possible with precision technique and mat time. He always talks about mat time, so I'm like, alright, I just need more mat time. Part of me is slightly concerned. Concerned isn't the right word, just conscious of the move back to Huntsville, and then where do I live? Will it meet my needs? Like food and then energy. Mainly like sleeping, because like right now, if I had to get up at, it would be at work at 8 every day, I would die. Even getting to open mat at 10, I didn't make it. I made it at 11. And it's always a struggle for weekend open mats. So I definitely am going to do some Cambo fast. We'll see how that plays out. I like setting intentions, but at the same time, I like just flowing with the universe. So, because I'm like, I don't want to just say, like, I'm going to do a 3-day Cambo and a 4-day fast after, because I'm like, maybe that won't happen. Because being like a Virgo, I can keep myself in check most of the time. I just, letting go just feels better, freeing. I don't know. But yeah, so navigating this realm is just look for your signs. If you're Mars, I think it's going to be based on your chart ruler. I don't know if everyone's going to hear signs through songs, but when I pay attention to that type of stuff, like nature doesn't really speak to me because I don't have like I mean, I have a lot of earth, but I don't know. It just doesn't. Pretty sure I decided that I'm definitely getting a haircut soon and a beard cut. So it's gonna be a new shift in experience. But I appreciate you, and we will talk soon. Adios.